Hi. Hi, everyone. It is me again, Issa, as told by a widow. I know that this video finds each of you doing fabulous, or you're on the road to having a fabulous moment, okay? It's just the truth. All right. I just want to drop in and I was just listening to Mary Mary's God in Me, which was motivated from watching a clip of a collaborative, I guess you would call, um, by T.I., the rapper, the entrepreneur, entertainer, called The Apartments. And the clip, I'm definitely going to support. It reminds me a lot of my life, my childhood. And I am a Atlanta native. And when I looked at it and the Spirit of God in me rose up. And before I knew, I was like, look at me. And not just look at me, I look at the life. And I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody's life. All I'm doing is telling you how all of watching his T.I.'s clip of his new project and how it triggered me to listen to Mary single, which is actually on my morning playlist, titled God in Me. And in all of that, I was like, thank you, God. Thank you, God in me. I got up shouting and celebrating, saying the lyrics to God in Me. Because I remember when fear had me bound, but it couldn't stop me. Okay. Reminds me now of a song by Andy Mineo. You can't stop me. My biggest enemy is me, is what he says in that song. So check that out too. But here's my message to all of you. And that is, God is in you. God is not outside of you. Okay? See, we can project godness outside of us, and that's the beauty of it. See, that's that unconditional divine agape love. When you project godliness out from the inside to the outside. Okay? That is called alchemy of the best kind. All right? And it's so sitting here, and I just couldn't contain myself. I just had to get out here and just share with you all. There's a God in you. And the sooner I learned this, my mindset, my vision of myself changed. And this happened when I was, I want to say about 19. Yeah. And I didn't know it was about a God in me. Because all the time we went to church is when something we need some prayer, yeah, to get out of a situation. And those are just facts. Okay. But when I figured out, because I didn't know anything about manifestation, and although you all, I'm sure those that watch my channel know I'm over 40, I'm over 45. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm over 46. But anyway, when I figured out at 19, through people, through the Spirit of God in me, talking through me, I would have some elders like my grandmother speak to me about Reverend Ike. I wasn't really trying to hear her back then, but she would always take that red prayer cloth that Reverend Ike would send her, and she would say, "You ain't gotta believe me, let me just pin it to your coat." And I'm like, "Grandma, pin it where nobody can see it now," because I loved her and I respected her, and she respected me. So she would pin it to the inside of my coat, and she would still listen to Reverend Ike. Whenever he would come on the radio and TV, she would get up and put her hands on the radio and all that good stuff. I wasn't into that. I thought that was some old folks stuff, right? Because what was going on around me in the homes, that didn't matter. All right? But here's the thing. Now that I'm mature and I know that God is in me, and when I figured that out when I was 19, it was like I no longer wanted certain things in my body. That's from eating, that was from certain sexual intimate partners. It was certain places I no longer wanted to go to anymore. And because I grew up in these communities, see, back then you moved from one spot to the next spot. And then we finally settled down on the west side. Hey, I'm keeping it real, the best side. And, the homes were just what they were. Patio living. Those of you who know what I'm talking about. And how, when I decided on that at 19, people who I grew up with, people that were my cousin but can't give me a kidney if I need it. Y'all know what I mean. And I love them still to this day. And they love me. Although we may not have seen each other in decades, we still love each other. You follow me? They're my cousins. So we didn't use the word friends. That was some white folks stuff. At least that was. Man, they're my bro. They're my cousin. You follow me? They're my soul. They're my sister. You feel me? But couldn't give me a liver transplant if I need it. I'm not even going to explain that to you, all right? Because that's some real love. You follow me? But when you figure out that God is in you You change how you eat. You begin to act right, even though you don't even know what acting right is. You go find out or figure out or find something or someone that's doing something opposite of what you're doing and opposite of what's going on in your environment. Because you know that God is in you, so you got to act right. You got to eat right. You want to listen to music that's more respectful. You want to dress more respectful. I'm not saying you got to cover up, because I didn't do that. But darn it, I scaled it down a whole lot. As if I was carrying God with me everywhere. You follow me? It was like I had royalty visiting me. Because, see, I hadn't quite caught on, but I was feeling it at 19. Then I began, I believe God is in me. But when I knew that God was in me, how I walked was different. How I talked was different. Because I knew I mattered. And when all that changed, my environment changed. Not because everything around me crashed and tumbled down. I began to politely remove myself from situations, people that was no longer in alignment or in agreement with the truth that God is in me. You follow me? So just imagine if all of us realize that God is in you. That's right. God is in you. Not outside of you. You are worthy of God being in you. You are. So get it together. Because you got royalty inside of you. You have the presence of God in you. So be your best self. And if you can't be your best self right now, just know that God is in you. So be your best self for the God that's in you. Because you keep doing that. I'm smiling because it's the truth, baby. God's going to reveal that you are God. And you have the power to project and the responsibility to project godliness all around you. The goodness of God. That great divine agape love of God. See, that's it. Life is not complicated. So listen to those songs. There's a God in you. There's a God in me. I apologize. By Mary. You Can't Stop Me by Andy Mineo. There's just a few. 2. But I'm telling you now, there's a God in you. I love you. So enjoy this wonderful day. It's a beautiful, beautiful full moon outside. It's Friday. What's the day? Is it October 29th? I think it is. What's it, 28th? It's either 28th or 29th. And I don't feel like getting up. I'm in my family room with my nice, look, y'all, I'm showing this so my children can see it. I actually do use every year. For a while, I know this is awful something else. You all, every year, my little ones, with their little finance, will always buy me a throw. I have this one. I think I have like 10 of them. But I consider it a blessing and actually a step up because they used to go to the Dollar Tree and they would think that volume was, and these were when they were little, was bliss. So they would fill it up with all types of candies and body washes and, oh my goodness, y'all. Yes, body washes and these what do you call it? Bath soaps. And I'll just be like, okay. You know, gotta take care of the honey pot. I would be like, So this is just that, I do appreciate and I do use them. So, hey, love you guys. And remember, there's a God in you. And you have the responsibility of projecting godliness all around you. Oh, my lips are chapped. Anyway, that's how important the message is. I ain't put my lip gloss on. Bye, y'all.